Welcome to Day Live PCDL. My name is Calvin Robinson. I'm from Brandon, Mississippi, Flowood, Mississippi area. I will be attending Bethel University. It's in McKenzie, Tennessee, about 2 hours away from Nashville and Memphis. So basically, what I would do pregame routine, I basically kind of like just get my little headset on sometimes. I'll go down the line, just walk up and down the line a little bit. Usually I would start by doing some dynamic stuff on my own, like some hamstring stuff like that. I got my PVC pipe and my arm tube over there in the dugout. I'll just do some of this stuff here to start stretching my arm out a little bit. Then I'll just get on the ground, start doing some yoga, stuff like that, get my body ready, going from the legs all the way up to my body, neck area, so do some of that. And then eventually I'll get into the bullpen, do some plyos, stuff like that, stretch my pec out, pec monitor, pec monitor out, do some of that stuff, just get myself ready. And then after that, it's time to go to the bullpen, do the bullpen stuff. And then after that, time to get on the mound, do about 10-ish throws. It doesn't take much for me to get warmed up quick, and after that, it's go time. What's up, guys? Got done with the outing. It went pretty good. I think I went 3 innings, a couple walks, maybe a hit or 2. I think 4 or 5 strikeouts. It went pretty good. As far as the assessment goes, what I've been working on, pretty much the whole summer I've been working on trying to not tip my back shoulder extremely too much. I found that that's hurting me. It makes me try to overcompensate and try and get back on plane, when in reality, I spiked the ball on the ground. So to fix that, try a little bit more straight up stance, get up and just go straight down to the plate. Helps me so much. Kudos to Cody. He was talking to me about that one bullpen. So is Rich and Jacob. They all been helping me throughout that process. And it's probably been one of my best outings of the summer. And as far as that goes, want to continue the success and keep showing out and keep improving and improving. This PCDL league's helped me so much, and I can't wait to get back on the mound. So as far as packaging goes, probably the number one thing I do is just drink a ton of water. Right now I feel like I have cotton mouth, so as soon as it's over, I'm gonna drink a ton of water. It's probably the first thing I do. Second thing, I'm going to the bullpen, stretch out, do some yoga, get some lactic acid out of my arm. It helps me a lot trying to get back, loose a little bit. And then after that, do some quick sprints in the bullpen, stuff like that. And after this game is over, as I leave, I'm going straight to headquarters to hit a quick lift after our workout. It's a high intent day, so get a high intent lift in afterwards. So you want to do it later in the week, helps you out a lot. And then as far as following days, it's just a bunch of running, sprints in headquarters. And sometimes I'll even go to Planet Fitness, just get a couple miles in if I need to at night, or, so be that. As far as eating, a bunch of salads, just eating salads, trying to keep my my macros as far as fat, carb, protein, and calorie, how many times eating a day on an app I use. As far as that goes, just trying to stay energized, stay hydrated throughout my next outing. And next time I get on the mound, actually, it will be a headquarters Saturday. So just working on the same thing I've been working on out there and just doing it into a sub-max bullpen. Basically means I'm not throwing 100%, I'm just trying to work on the feel of things. And then after that, just continue to keep on going on Tuesday of next week and just keep on doing the same thing over and over again. So a strict process, kind of like what Paul Skeens, he said, the thing he does for 2 hours is so boring, but it helps so much and it helps me stay focused and continue. Success on the mound. So that's it for me. Thank y'all. All right, so basically this is my last outing Tuesday. I basically come in headquarters pretty much every day, just doing some recovery throwing, do some workouts. After my outing Tuesday, I came in here, hit a heavy lift. It's good to do heavy lifts after you had a high intent day, so you can go ahead and knock it out instead of doing it later during the week. doing a lot of sprinting in here, doing a lot of jump and, jump testing, weigh-in, stuff like that. Just getting on the weight rack and just, just working it all out. Stretching a lot. That's pretty much about it. Rich does a great job, and Casey and Jacob, they do a great job of, having already planned out your week after you do your high intent day, which for me would be Tuesday. And again, getting prepared for today, which is my sub-max bullpen. So as far as like specific things during my workout, I need better rotation. So Rich, he programs some stuff in there to help me rotate better my lower half and add some core work in there so I can be better with that. That's pretty much that. That's the main thing in my workouts. As far as like pitching and getting on the mound, stuff like that, it's again rotating. Jacob, he's programmed me some like more plyo stuff in the Boost app to where instead of just doing that, I need to get more like out here and get more extension, for example. So it's just little stuff like that. And like the biggest thing is just fastball command for me. I have good off-speed stuff, but if I get my fastball in there, it's gonna be my best pitch regardless of what I say. I say my changeup my best pitch, but fastball for me is gonna be my best pitch. I can just get in there anytime I want to, and that's kind of what it was for me the last outing. When I get ahead of the count and I get my fastball command in there, I start to add changeup in there. It's just basically, there's nothing you can do about it, even if you know it's coming. And that's kind of one of the great things that they teach me here is that I need to stop worrying about so much of my off-speed stuff and worry about my fastball. Because when I get my fastball in zone for strike one, it's hard to come back from that, and that's when I can just keep pounding hitters and attacking hitters. Why I like the PCDL so much and what brought me here, I got to kind of say, like last time I was on the camera, me and my dad, we were scrolling through social media. I think it was like Twitter and Instagram, and he kind of found like Brett talking to like a group of guys or something, and we saw like they had this big, pitching lab here, and they got all these cool guys like Rich and Jacob here, Cody, people like that, Nolan, and we kind of bought in last summer, and then I enjoyed it so much we came back for another summer, and like it's been so fun, and it's been a ride because going to this last summer, I didn't really know much of anything we're talking about, and now coming back for a second summer, everything that's been telling me is kind of like it's clicking in my head instantly now that I understand like what they're telling me and what they're talking about. As far as like the format, in summer ball, you can just go out there and you can just throw, go out the next day, throw, wait a couple of days, maybe throw again. Here you throw twice a week, you throw Tuesday, high intent day for me, and then Saturday for me, which would be my bullpen. But you're just not throwing to throwing. There's obviously gonna be some intent behind it, whether you're working on fastball command. Like earlier when I came here, I was working on fastball command. I was working on trying to throw it low, a little bit more lower in the zone instead of, throwing everything high and away. There's always a goal that you're trying to do in here, no matter what it is. And that's kind of like one of the things I like about this is that, you can have TrackMan, you can have all this other stuff, but like goals are the big thing, for me, because I could throw the ball 90 miles an hour, but it'll go to backstop. And that might be a goal for me, is trying to like just throw it low, like I was just saying not too long ago. But that's what I like about PCDL. You just throw 2 times a week, you do your recovery, you do your workout, whatever, but they're also teaching yourself while you're doing those certain things. And that's kind of what the main thing I love about it. It's worth the drive coming up here 7 hours from Mississippi to Missouri, and I'll do it every time. Before I came here, you just go summer ball, you just throw innings, and then, you don't know when you're gonna throw again. You can throw the next day, you can throw 2 days after that, you don't know. But here, you know when they're gonna tell you when you throw. You throw Tuesday, you throw Saturday. So that gives you something to mentally prepare for building up to those days versus being out there, not mentally prepared because you don't know when you're coming in, in summer ball. You don't really know what you're trying to focus or work on. You're just trying to throw it up there as long as you can, as hard as you can without a goal. And, they give you goals here to reach, whether you hit them or not. And usually for me, I'll always hit the goal because they just make it so easy they just make it, all the gibberish they talk about, they just make it so much easier for me to understand, and that's kind of what drives me even more because they know what they're talking about, and it makes me comfortable to just try new things.